All right, so it looks like Elon Musk is going to be closing the deal on Twitter this Friday. Now, for anyone who's been following this does not mean that it's going to go through, but I mean, at this point, I think we're pretty much beyond speculation. I think we can all pretty much estimate that yes, this is going to happen, and he is in fact going to become the new owner and CEO of Twitter. However, there is a letter right now that is circulating among the employees of Twitter who are against Elon Musk because he plans on laying off about 75% of them. Now, I will start by saying I myself am not a fan of Elon Musk. However, I do feel that Twitter does have an overwhelming sense of automation to it where it comes to shadow banning, it comes to censoring things people are saying. It seems to favor people with blue check marks over people who don't have them. If you say something that is a little bit off the fritz with what they believe, it tends to lead to repercussions that wouldn't happen to someone, let's say, who has one of those blue check marks next to their name. So I really try not to get into the political divide among Twitter, but I do say it overwhelmingly seems to favor one end of the political spectrum over the other. Myself, I am someone who does not try to make much political affiliation with my stances on things, but I do think that Twitter would be better off in a sort of medium that does not hold any favors or caters to any side of the political spectrum. No, I don't think it's going to become a safer environment for, let's say, the political discourse that we would like to have, but I do think that it will be something better than what it is right now. Again, though, like when it comes to a lot of this, I do not think that Elon Musk is necessarily doing this to be this sort of purveyor of free speech. I think he is someone who likes to do a lot of showboating with his personality, his wealth, and the businesses he owns. So I think this is just another stepping stone in the legacy that he is trying to build himself. I don't think he is necessarily a person of the people, but I do respect elements of him where he does seem to be on par with recognizing that censorship is a dangerous facet to our society, and it's something that should not be doted upon. It's something that should, be recognized as being a threat to any society. And, it begins with religion in almost every society, where the religion tends to censor people and tends to tell people what to believe and what to think. But in the age of 2000, the age of the millennials, it more or less has seemed to be the political setting that is telling people what to believe, what to think, and what to do. Now, I don't think that this is going to cure things overnight, but I think it is a step in the right direction. I do not think the political situation in our time is going to fade away soon enough for us to feel satisfied or happy with the way things are. I think it will be past, more than likely, past our lifetime when things begin to readjust and become a little bit more tolerable as where they are right now. It's just like no one seems to get along. I mean, you got the people with the gun fetishes, and then you've got the people who want to debate you on whether you have the right to defend yourself or not, and if you should just throw up your arms and get shot. I don't want to get into any of these political debates over any of these situations that we try to put ourselves into, which is it's just like there's really no safe ground anywhere you go. There's not that happy medium I'm noticing day by day as the older I get. It seems that people really can't agree on things. But again, I'm no fan of him, and I'm not saying that I am exactly approving of his decision to fire 75% of the employees. But when it comes to a situation like that, I will say that you can't really look at your new employer and blame them for the situation that you're in. You have to kind of look at your past employer, because your past employer is the one who sold you off to Elon Musk. This happened to me before in one of the jobs that I was working at, where we were sold to new owners and they immediately came in and fired everybody without notice. And I really can't sit there and blame them all day, because they're the new owners. They can do whatever the hell they want. Yes, it's a dick move, absolutely. But you really have to look back at your former employers, because they're the ones that you put your trust into. And also remember that when it comes to employment in the United States, it's will to work. So they really don't owe you anything. Whoever employs you, that's basically just the gist of things. If you work for, basically like a private company. A corporation, on the other hand, is going to think and make you feel that you have all this entitlement. Of course, you would feel that way with Twitter, and that's predominantly where the staff seems to be at, where they feel very entitled to things. And they gave him this letter, which is this basically more or less this list of demands, and some of them are pretty out there. Some of them are more weighing on the entitled Silicon Valley sense of things, where they feel that this is their job, they are their own employers, and that they demand to work from home. I can't go too far into that realm because I don't know enough about it. But I can say that most of these people, if they do get laid off, they're going to find new jobs. They're going to go work for another company. This happens to 90% of people who are laid off at their jobs, is they go somewhere else and they get the same position, doing the same thing, or it's a lot of times they move up the ladder and they work somewhere better and they get a higher ranking position. I've seen this before. That is probably what's going to happen to 90% of the employees who are laid off. I do think that there is a severance involved with this. I can't be 100% sure of that, but Elon himself has been up to some pretty showy things lately with his purchase of Twitter. I do know that he went in the headquarters within San Francisco today and brought in a sink. And there's a little status update here saying entering Twitter HQ, let that sink in. So I think this is something that is meant to get under people's skin. There is also just this idea that he had to fight for everything and they threw everything at him, including the kitchen sink. So he's bringing this prop in as a joke. So, this is just more of Elon, sort of flashing his ego around, or just showboating things, creating his legacy. Where I sort of lie at with him, I don't really, like I said previously, I don't think he's a person of the people. I don't think he's this fighter for free speech. I think, again, that he's someone who recognizes that there is obviously a side to people to market yourself to right now, and I think he is marketing himself to the crowd of people that's tired of being told what to think. They're tired of being told what to believe and what they can say and what they can't say. And I think that's the direction he has taken things, is he's pretty much selling to these people, grifting, more or less. Then there's also this chance that the government is going to be looking into this. So that's another reason why I don't think that people should, be so quick to think that the deal is sealed and that everything is just going to go through. There is officials in the Biden administration that are discussing whether the United States should subject some of Elon's ventures into national review, including his deal for Twitter. Now, I think like a lot of people are wondering, like, how can they get in there and try to, like pin something on him like they kind of do with all the probes within the last 2 years towards the political people, to say the least. The discussions to review his ventures are at an early stage, but officials in the U.S. government are weighing what tools, if any, are available that would allow the federal government to review his ventures. So they're really looking through everything with a fine comb, trying to find a needle in a haystack that will allow them to review him. And that sort of tells you that I feel our current administration, or maybe just people in the government in general, are threatened by this one way or another. And the way that they can get in there is, according to the Washington Free Beacon, is one possibility is through the law governing the Committee on Foreign Investment, because it says here an element of Musk's $44 billion Twitter deal which could trigger a review is the presence of a foreign investor. So that could lead to an investigation, is this U.S. law governing foreign investments, and being that Elon Musk potentially, or it sounds by it, has a Saudi Arabian investor in this. So that's where I do believe that they could lead this into a review, but the chances of that actually happening really depend on which direction all of this goes. So I think it's way too early to estimate where it's going to go at this point in time, because it could literally tomorrow, it could end up, by Friday, it's supposed to be he buys Twitter, or the deal is sealed, he gets in there, everything goes to plan, and he fires 75% of the employees or lays them off, gives them severance deals, anything of that matter. At the end of the day, I really, like I said before, I don't find myself being a huge fan of Elon Musk. I'm happy that this is happening to Twitter. More than likely is going to happen, because Twitter is a place that does, in fact, have an overwhelming sense of a political dichotomy. And I would really like to have a platform where it doesn't seem to favor people based on their political beliefs. But that is something I think is going to take time. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. That sort of happy medium we're searching for might take a few years, at least on the sense of the internet. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon in our lifetime. I really don't like to cover political matters or anything like this, but it seems to be the thing that some people are talking about right now, and I myself use Twitter quite often. It's one of my favorite platforms, to be honest, but yeah, there is an overarching political ideology and control over Twitter, and that pretty much could come to an end, but I'm a little doubtful. I think things will change for the better, but they certainly won't happen overnight.